Well, here we are with this project here. Well, this is what we're going to start off the day with. We worked on this for a couple of minutes the other day, and then I ran away from it here. Well, this is what we're going to start with here in this video. We are going to go ahead and put new knives on this chopper. I worked on this for a few minutes the other day, and then I got off onto doing other things, and now it looks like I have an available moment to maybe get the knives off of this. We are going to be able to finish cutting wheat today. The videos are kind of goofed up here because the finish of the combining video hasn't yet happened, but we're kind of working on this here right now. So this needs knives. We're going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put a new shear bar in it. We talked about that the other day if I ended up putting that in the video, but we've got a whole pallet of parts here. Knives, shear bar, blower paddles, blower panel. I've got a couple of pieces to go on the shaft that drives the header. Now we've got the 9560 is in behind us. That's getting an oil change on that right now. This here is the older Pottinger Terra disc, and we ended up putting new discs on it. So this is all ready to go here now for when we fit ground to put feedings in with. My brother going out with a load of manure. The girls, they are off chisel plowing right now, so we'll check on them here in a little while. As you can see, this tractor here is not on the chisel plow, so we'll have to show you what is. So, yeah. All right. We'll start plucking these knives off, and then we can start throwing new ones on there. It's Davey and Jared's Mac. Getting her. Well, guys, we didn't get done. We got about 9 acres left here. And we got to take this machine home. And we got to dig some broken bolts out of the separator drive pulley. I kind of thought maybe yeah, we'll get that. We'll get it. So we have to dig 3 broken bolts out of the separator drive pulley, and I didn't want a chance trying to do this in the field, and yeah, so we're just gonna take this home. We're gonna drop the head in the field, and I've got a building I can put that truck in because I don't have it loaded. Andrew was raking straw. He came up here to run the grain buggy. He's over there at the other field now rolling the tarp up on the trailer. And we'll take this home and we'll show you what we have mucho broken. I don't know if one of these bolts came loose and then the other ones came whatever, but we need to dig them out with a welder. And yeah, so we'll touch base with you when we get back to the shop. And there's the telephone. Alright, so we'll drop this head right here. You might be saying, oh, why are you putting it in the wheat? Well, these guys are going to be able to come over here and bale some of this tomorrow. And if it takes me too long to fix this thing, they might as well bale everything. If I put it up there, it's going to be in the way. If I put it over there, it's going to be in the way. So we'll just leave that right there. And that is the chunk that we have left. We have real good weather for the next 3 days, so we can milk this for all it's worth. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna put that truck inside over on the other road. You can almost see that building right over on yonder. Andrew's gonna pick me up, he's gonna bring me back, and then we're gonna jump in this machine here and we're gonna head home. So we'll join up with you guys in a little whirl here. Well, here we are. We have 9 acres left, and these bolts on this clutch here for the separator are all broken. So we need to disassemble this. We need to dig into those and get the old ones out and get new ones in there. So we'll get working on it, and hopefully we get this fixed before the wheat's actually ready to cut today. We ended up breaking down last night about 6:30 or so, and I would have got done had this not broken down, but it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and get after it. Well, this is where we are currently at right at the moment. I was able to dig the 3 bolts out. Got them sitting on the back of the forklift. They came out really easy. I did use an extractor bit, but all I really had to do was just use the sharpness of the drill bit to dig into there, and it just kind of backed out. One of them I was actually able to take out with this prick here. So we didn't want to remove this whole assembly. Thought if I could get away without doing it, I would. And what we used, I had a pry bar in there, but what I used is this porta power. I took a bolt, I cut the head off. When this is out to the end, and you'll see that when we get this back apart again, or get this porta power out of here, we've got 1 bolt in, and the head of the bolt wanted to hit on the inner part of this outer sheave. So we couldn't really put the head of the bolt in there. You had to have enough room to get the bolt in and spin it in between there. So we got the porta power out. It had just enough room to stick in there and push the inner part of that sheave inward so that we could drop the bolt in and thread it. We'll kind of show you what that looks like here. If you want to hold the camera. What did I do on pliers? I'll try to get this bolt out. This threaded piece. We'll use this as a dowel pin. Because it was turning on us when we where's the short bolt? Do I have one here? I thought I had 3 washers over here. Alright. So we got the second one snuck in there. Now we need to dig out this dowel that we made so that everything would kind of stay lined up. And it is tight. Just very carefully thread this guy out. Alright, so this is what we use just for a dowel. Alright, now that one's threaded in. I'm not having any mobility here, so we'll tighten that one up later. So we'll just release this porta power. Bang. And you can kind of see that there isn't any room for the head of the bolt to be able to put that in there after the fact. So these aren't exactly the right bolt. Deere wants us to use a flanged bolt, but these are hard bolts. And what we'll have to do is, after we get done, do the same thing. Set this porta power in there. Get it to do its thing. You can take that way. get it to do its thing, and then swap the bolt out one at a time. So now we'll just get these tight, and then we'll get our belt back on. And see, this one is loose. We could tighten it after the belt is on there and try to, yeah. So we have to take this bearing here loose, get our belt on there, and get the rest of this together, and then hopefully this will start up without any problems. So we've got this all back together, and what I need to do now is start the combine up and run through what's in from the feeder house all the way back through, because we shut down in a hurry here last night. My nephew Teddy's gonna run the camera, and he's gonna stand back a ways so that if it comes to an explosion, you won't have bolts coming at you, right? was just discussing with my nephew on the way over that this repair we put a lot more into than we had to. For one, we could have done the repairs right over in the field, and two, we wouldn't have had to disassemble as much as we disassembled. But I was assuming that we were going to have to use the welder to get them bolts out, and they were down in there about that far, and I just figured that the best way to do it would have been to remove that pulley drive assembly and put it down on the bench and work at it that way. But next time it will be harder to work on, and we'll try to do it in the field, and we won't be able to get it done. But hopefully there isn't a next time. So we'll get clipped onto the head here. We're not square enough, but we might end up being square. Well, we've got our head on, we've got everything hooked up, and we're going to step right into where we had the problem here yesterday. Hopefully everything stays together so we can finish this small little tiny chunk that we have left. The knife bar, by the way, has done what it's supposed to do as far as it staying straight. For wheat to come in the bin, we've got it coming into the bottom of the bubble up auger, and it's coming out the top as well. So if we have any more problems, we'll be sure and share them with you. Just to give you guys somewhat of a timeline as to when this is getting videoed. It is Friday, July 26th today. Took us just over 2 weeks to cut our wheat, and the video that I showed you guys with us starting wheat this year was yesterday. That video posted yesterday. So we're a little behind with the videos. Now I did have a comment. Guy said, geez, we've been done in our area in Ohio or wherever he was from for like 3-4 weeks. Why are you guys so far behind? Well, we're just slow here. We're awful slow, and it is what it is. It just to kind of clarify something here, it all has to do with your elevation and how far away from the equator you are. We might be a little farther away from the equator than you might be in Ohio. A friend of mine that is from Ontario, Canada, just started wheat today. It's not that he drug his feet, it just was not ready until today. So that's the reason why you can harvest these crops at different times. These custom harvesting guys, they'll start in Texas and they'll move north. And as they move north, they get into wheat that is matured enough to harvest. They don't send one of their combines down to Texas and then one of their combines all the way up to Colorado to start wheat harvest. It's not ready all at the same time. It's ready the earliest in the south, and then as time goes on, you can start moving north. people just don't understand that. They see one farmer harvesting wheat on YouTube's, and then a month later, maybe we are doing it, or somebody else, and they're like, oh, these guys are way behind the 8 ball here, you know? But it's just, it is what it is. So, alright, we'll keep at it here. We've been one time down and back just about. And so far it's working. No buzzers. No buzzers. So, yeah. Alright. Alright, we're getting ready to set this on the header cart. I thought I would just show you that. This is nice and straight. That stayed straight. It didn't ever bend again. We don't need to replace it now.
Nice.
Yeah. Got 2 pieces of plastic put on, actually 3. And then we lost one of these sections here. These little segmented sections in the disassembly of this. And one other thing that we have to swap out is this guard right here. We've got to put a single point guard in there. You can kind of see we're too close here. So we'll get this setting on the cart, get the cart hooked to the combine, and then we'll roll on out of here. Well, on my way over here, my nephew, he was riding with me, and he said, how are you going to get the grain head home? I said, I don't know yet. I kind of thought maybe we'd come over with a pickup later on and get it. And whatever, because he asked where the cart was. He says, you know, the next combine we get, they should have put a hitch on the back so that we can pull the head with it. I said, I can do it with this one. He said, really? So we have the head hooked up and behind the combine, because I thought I would show him what that looks like behind the combine. So we've had this head for 9 years, and I've got a quick little story to tell you. I was on my way over to this area when this was brand new. There he goes there. He'll take that back to the farm. I was on my way over to this area when this header and header cart was brand new, and my brother-in-law passes me on, 6 miles from here. He said, you got a wheel wobbling like crazy on that header cart. So I said, well, I'll pull over, see what I've got going on. This front left wheel, all of the studs fell out of it, and it was just holding itself on the lip of the hub. I'll drop a picture in here now. Some of this stuff you just cannot make up. But had that have fallen off, that would have made a mess, because the head could have and might possibly have fallen off the cart too, because it would have cocked it just enough that it could have broke those straps. And then if the head falls off on one side and hits the ground, it just would turn into a mess. This is a 20-foot head. The head that we had prior to this one was either a 15 or a 16-foot head, and we didn't have a cart for that one. And I felt that if we're gonna have a head as big as 20 feet, we better pull it, or we better have a cart for it. So it was minor to get it down the road at 15 or 16 foot wide. But when I put the hitch on the combine, I off-centered the hitch, because the head, it hangs off this right side by quite a ways, and it's kind of deceiving when you've got it behind a pickup. You've got to always watch the right-hand side of the road. But this is just as wide as the combine. So with the hitch being off-center, the only problem is it's a little hard to make a left-hand turn. You got to make a long, wide left-hand turn, or the tire gets into the drawbar. It is a pain in the ass to hook up. We don't have cameras on the back of our combine, and it's more or less a two-man job unless you want to get in and out of the combine a million times. So we're going to take the last load of wheat which is on the tractor trailer. It's a small load. My father left already. And we're going to head over to Mayberry's with that. I've got to grab some stuff out of the combine here, and we will head on our way over to Mayberry's in Waterloo.